Mike from Evolution Apocalypse here. What we're going to do today is we're going to attempt, I'm going to say attempt because I've never done this. I've seen it done, but I don't know how well it works. We're going to die the scales of a Ontario Knife Works RAT3. They all come with the tan scales. I've read in forums people using RIT die. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop mine off. I'm going to show you guys how to do that here. And then we're going to attempt to die the scales. So why don't we jump into the knife and take a look at it and tear it down before we go ahead and get the die ready.
Alright, so what we have here, guys, is we have the RAT3. You guys all know it has the tan scales on it. It's a cool knife. I love this knife. I love the knife. I don't mind the scale color really, but I've seen where a lot of people are dyeing them. So I picked a red color that I think is going to look pretty cool on there. I'm not sure how well it's going to hold or how well it's going to take or how the shade of it is. I think it gets a scarlet red color that I got, but I'm having a feeling it might either be darker or lighter than what the RIT dye package says. But we're going to give it a shot and see what happens. So let's go ahead and pop off the screws here. So on the RAT3, it has these little pins here. As you can see, I just popped that one out. I already took one screw out, so you can see it has a little pin here. Set that off to the side. Do the next one. You need 2 Allen keys to do this because they thread into each other. So that one. There's the other one. So you see here what we got now is we have the RAT3 bare bladed. There's no epoxy holding it together. Nothing special fancy, just the blade itself with the pins, which makes it nice. And these are the scales, and they're just micarta scales that we're going to dye. I hope they take the dye well. So let's get the dye ready and find out. You see I got my pot boiling, got my RIT dye here, got my instructions there, and we're going to let this come to boil and then we're going to mix it. Alright, so we got our RIT dye here. We boiled it all up. Went with a really heavy mixture because I want these to come out really dark, and I hope that they do. So yeah, so we're going to drop these in there, let them sit for about 10 minutes, and then come back and check them out. They are covered fully, so what we're going to do now is we're going to wait 10 minutes, and then we're going to pull them out and see how they look. Alright, so they've been in there for about 10 minutes now. What I'm going to do is pull them out, and I'm going to soak them in this glass of cold water for 5 minutes before I do the final rinse off, and then put them back on the knife. But what we need to do now is get them out of this. Yes, I have on gloves. I do not want to get dye all in my skin, so we're going to fish out the scales. And as you can see there, it came out a really cool red. I don't know if the camera can tell. We'll show them after they soak out a little bit here. I was really hoping for a really dark tone of red, so I'm hoping that this really comes out well. So what we're going to do now is we're going to let them soak in that cold water for about 5 minutes before we do a final rinse, and then put them back on the knife. Alright guys, so there it is, the final version of the dyed scales from the RAT3. I think it turned out pretty good, considering it came out the color I was kind of hoping for. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. I think it changes the whole dynamic of the knife and makes the knife look a little bit more different and custom-ish, I guess you could say. and I like it. I'm digging it. I'm digging that red. I think it looks pretty good on there, and it's good in the sheet too. So I'm happy with it. I'm really, really happy with the way it turned out. Now I got all this extra red dye. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with. So you can dye micarta. It does work. And I like the color of it. I think it looks pretty good. So evolutionapocalypse.com. Go check us out.